Alright, Big Strunks, welcome back to another workout. This was yesterday, had a good back workout. This is the last of the volume workouts before we still go into the big strength program. Starting out with lat pulls. I think we went from about 99 on the warm-ups up to about 185 or so on the top set. So, going into this last set of workouts, like I said, this is the last volume workout. I'll hit another round of push-pull legs at a medium weight, just getting warmed up. And then after that, we'll be doing the max out days to get our initial numbers for the strength program where we plug in the programming. So here it felt good. Got a little warm in the gym. I'll have to shed the hoodie in a minute. Just a reminder, all this is part of the comeback. I think I've been doing a little comeback workout for about a little over a month now. I found that every other day is really the kind of the speed for me as far as recovering, keeping the joints feeling good, and then even with that every other day workout schedule, heavy days, mix in a volume day, leave some exercises out, just depending on how different things feel. For me, it's mainly my right shoulder is the main limiting factor. That's part of that recovery. But it's feeling good. You can tell it's a little sensitive just because it's coming back from an injury, but nothing painful, nothing crazy going on with it. So in any case, hitting the sets of lats. I almost feel like watching the video, watching the afterplay here, the playback. I almost feel like my hands are too close together. What do you guys think? Now, I know you could always turn around and go palm up and get some of that bicep in there. That's an option on the lat pull down. For me, it's always been, it's uncomfortable for my wrists. Maybe I need to get a different grip whenever I do it. I don't know. But feel free to leave your thoughts on that. So again, I started to blur out this guy that was doing his workout on the other station there, but I hope he doesn't mind. Doing some good tricep work, I think. So you see I've got the Sideshow Bob hair going. I need a haircut. I'm going out. Should be going out today. Once I post this, I'll get a haircut. Went to the gym a little bit later than usual today. I was busier, so I had to be kind of tactical with the camera work. You know, like I said, I try to be discreet. I really don't like to film other people. It is what it is sometimes. That's what I get for being lazy and not getting up and going. But back has been feeling really good. Like I said, it wasn't part of the initial injury. So, this is a more narrow grip cable row. I'm trying to keep it kind of low on my body. So I'm coming up. My hands are probably right below my solar plexus. So I'm kind of coming right back into my belly. Really trying to hit that mid-back, get that thickness going with the rhomboids. Again, initial warm-up sets. Probably about 100 pounds or so, and worked my way up to about 185 or 200, I don't remember. But from this angle, it looks pretty good. I don't know if it's the camera lens or what, but kind of got a nice V taper there into my muffin top love handles. Need to do something about that. I was wanting to throw in those Kelso rows again, but I don't want to overdo it with it. You know, it's a good exercise. And like I said, from a filming standpoint, from here I wanted to go from rows. I wanted to do a lean back row and kind of hit more of my traps with like almost a shrug row kind of thing. But the guy on the left filming, and then you had the two girls there doing their cable work. I don't want them to feel like I'm just sitting there trying to film them the whole time. So. Alright, a little technical difficulty there. Sometimes my playback lags and I have to start it over. So we'll see if we can get through this thing. So the good old reverse hyper. Like I said, I don't like to do weight on these. I might have to start adding weight. But again, just get a nice stretch in the hamstrings and the glutes, keeping it tight. Keep that upper body, torso in a neutral position as best you can. It's not really for flexing the lower erectors. That's not what they're there for. They're there to stabilize everything. So really I just try to approach this exercise keeping the low back tight, keeping the glutes tight, you know, tightening everything up on that upswing, and then control it down, and then just keep the back in a neutral position so you're not getting that cat back or that hump back, whatever you want to call it. Get that squeegee Nacho Libre butt. Squeeze those butt cheeks. I think I just hit a quick 3 sets on this. Keep it moving. So I am excited about this strength program. Everything's feeling good. Start putting some weight back on the bar. But nothing crazy. Like I said, everything's with the mind of staying healthy so I can keep working on it. Alright, I've got honestly one of my favorite exercises, the chest supported row. I like this high grip because it's where I can kind of get the upper part of my back. The gym that I go to does not have a T-bar row or a seal row or anything like that, so this is kind of the closest thing I have to being able to get to that high back, other than doing, say, like a standing T row with dumbbells or something like that at a lighter weight. But here with the chest supported machine, I can kind of work the weight up. And the weight here I worked up again from about 99 pounds up to about I want to say 200 on the top set for this. It just feels good having that chest support, so you can take some of the stress off your back. You can really concentrate on hitting the back. Take some of the stress off your lower back and just concentrate on hitting the upper back. And you can see as the weight gets heavy, a little bit more English in it, in the upper body, and that's fine. As the weight goes up, it's all part of the back anyways. As long as you're not really sacrificing your back position to where you're going to get hurt. I always think it's funny when people talk about really strict form and everything, and you see some of the videos of like either strongmen or even bodybuilders doing the exercise, and there's all kinds of English. You know, it's like, well, if it's good for them, it's got to be good for whoever. Seems like a lot of times super strict movement form just kind of limits your productivity, if you're training for strength especially. Again, as long as you're not sacrificing your body position where you're going to get injured, honestly, I don't see a problem with that. Alright, curls for the girls, I think the station that I was looking for was taken. I was really trying to work over, excuse me, I was trying to work over to get some barbell rows in, but the deadlift platform stayed full. So this is just kind of me filling in. I hadn't planned on doing curls, but everything I was wanting to do is taken up, so I'm like, let's just do some curls. And there's nothing wrong with having some arm titties. They're not a huge part of my training regimen. It's not something I concentrate on. But, they're fun to hit every once in a while. And it does help the arm have a more balanced look if you've got big triceps, which I'm not saying I do. My arms in general, I've always felt my arms have been thinner than my body as far as proportion wise. But then again, I don't take the time to concentrate on my arms per se. So that's probably why. Just a couple of sets. I don't know. I think I worked up from 20 to 50 or something like that. Nothing super heavy. Again, this is supposed to be a volume workout, even though I went a little heavier on some of the other exercises. Just trying to keep everything nice and warm. Another week. Or after this workout, 3 more workouts, push-pull legs, and then we'll hit the max out days and start on the actual strength program. So just trying to keep everything lined out for that. And even on the strength program, I'm going to do another video outlining the specific strength program I'm going to do. But even on that, the only thing I'm probably going to lift heavy is the actual primary lift for that workout. And then everything else will go back to medium and high volume reps, just to help develop, hypertrophy and take some of the stress off of what's not supposed to be the primary lift for that day. Just to make sure I can sit, because I think the whole program is about a 4-week cycle, and then you would start back over. Little sweat coming through on the headband there. And it's funny enough, the headband is just a cut off leg of my sweatpants. I was like, I could probably use this. Alright, one arm dumbbell rows. This was feeling pretty good. 60 pounds, not super heavy, but again, getting some volume in. The framing, some of the framing on these shots is not the best because, like I said, I try to be indiscreet, get the camera up as quick as I can, and then just leave it alone. So it's kind of out of sight, out of mind with everybody else working out. Mess with the camera too much, I just feel like they think you're trying to film it. A little high in the frame here, but back was feeling good. And I take my hoodie off here in a minute, and the back was looking pretty good, if I say so myself. Kind of looking nice and thick, filled out. So here, I got a little bit lower in the frame, just try to see a little bit better. You can kind of see that upper back, traps, lats and rhomboids and all that looking pretty good. The shirt's kind of blown out on the light, though. I don't have anybody to set the metering between shots, so I kind of do the best I can. I think I have to just start going with a darker colored shirt in general. Feeling good, good motion. I don't try to keep that shoulder isolated. I don't mind my scapula flexing and pulling back across because I'm really just trying to hit as much of the back as I can. There we go, shirt's off. So that back, to me, that back's looking pretty thick and full. Not too bad, not too bad. Not too bad for old strong dad. About to be 47 years old. Yeah, at this point, this was not a showing it off, take off my hoodie. This was I was tired, sweaty, and hot, and wanted to take my hoodie off because I was suffering. So because I was lower, I was just sitting on the floor and picking it back up. Okay, the upper back looking pretty good. You can see the rhomboids on the lower back. I think my biggest issue now is just dropping the actual body fat percentage down. So like I said, I just said I didn't do a lot of isolation, but here's an isolation. I was just trying to do rear delts, or like a Y up. But I went down to 15s, and even the 15s for this particular isolation movement was too heavy for me. That's why I switched to just did a set with one hand. And then on the next set, I actually went down to the 7.5s just to keep the movement good, good technique. And even then, towards the end of the reps, you'll see that I put a little bit of English even on 7.5 pounds. But that rear delt, there's some kind of little stabilizer I think I was hitting as well that was just, it was not wanting a bunch of weight. So, listen to your body, go with what you can do a good set with. And about 7.5 pounds, screw it, that's 7.5 pounds. And you'll notice the palms are down, keeping the palms down. And then even when I go to this kind of a Y movement, still keeping the palms down and flared to the outside, really focusing on that back delt, or the kind of the weakest part of the movement. I mean, you could flare it up and do your palms out on the up part of the motion, kind of like what do they call it? A butterfly. Butterfly shrugs, or maybe something like that. I can't remember. But anyways, but I'm keeping the palms down, and instead of the palms turning in towards my face, if anything, they're turning out away from me, just to keep that right back on the rear delt, the back part of the shoulder. And it was tough, even with 7.5 pounds. You can see me, I'm like, this sucks. Okay, at this point of the workout, this is towards the end of the workout, I'm toast, my back is toast. You can see the weight on the back fly here. I think I've got maybe 50 pounds on there, and it still felt heavy. So here I'm just I'm just pushing blood into the muscle, getting some reps in, keeping everything moving. And it felt good, even at lightweight. This is still kind of that palms down. I'm using the palm down grip instead of the other kind of fly grip. So it's still kind of concentrating on that weak area I was just on with the dumbbell and the bench. But I found with like the cable and the machine like that, it's kind of a constant tension. You don't get that gravity relief when you're in the straight up or straight down position like you do on dumbbells. So you can really kind of get it right into the groove, and like I'm doing here, and just stay on that muscle. I probably could have put the seat a little bit lower to get higher on the back, but it felt good here. Yeah, at this point, my back was toast. It was a good workout. So I'm trying to keep an eye on the stack where the weights are. I don't want it to bottom out. I'm trying to go as far forward as I can and have that weight just barely almost kiss the stack before I start going back and lifting in. I wish the handles came a little bit closer on this machine. I don't know if there's an adjustment they can do to it or something, but it seemed like I still had too much space between my hands, but then the weight bottoms out, so it is what it is. Good sets though, and then I just got one more last set of kind of burnt out curls because I was toast, and just kind of feeling good. Want to get a couple extra sets in, two-handed curls. I rarely do preacher curls on the machine or a bar, but like I said today, my back was toast. I wanted to do something else, so I just got a couple extra sets of curls in. It's one of my weaknesses, anyways. Might as well get a little bit. And there, the weight got too heavy, so I just dropped it down just to finish out the set. That's the workout, you guys. Thank you for watching, and stay strong.